Good Monday evening, everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Safety Stop here on our YouTube channel. JoJo, what's happening?
It's Monday, and the only good thing about Mondays, it seems like, is the show we put on.
Well, you got to wait all day just to come on in the evening time, but I'll have to agree
Yeah.
with you. You know, it's the bright spot of a Monday.
Bright spot of a Monday, yes. I tell you what, some Mondays seem to be harder than others, and this is what you get to look forward to. It's a
Well,
good ending to a day.
but the good thing is the temperatures are, of course, today was a little different, but the temperatures are coming up. It was a nice 88 degrees yesterday. Nice Saturday. I mean, we had all kinds of stuff going on Saturday. Tanks everywhere. All our annual inspections going on, trying to get all the stuff done ready for the season. and we had such a beautiful weekend to do
Yes, we did. I actually got a little sun
it.
doing all those things. I'm trying to figure out how I did that because I was thinking I was the one that was in the shade the most.
Yeah, well, hey, it is that time of year. We are 3 weekends away from the opening of the 2026 diving season. And it looks like Jordan's in here, says this warm weather's got him itching for some water therapy. Mr. Todd Ransford's in here. Good evening, Todd. And it looks like Frank is joining us. So if you're in here watching, throw up a hi in the comments. Yeah, I mean, we're gearing up. It's dive season is getting close. Water's warming up. I just hope we don't have a a replay of last year's April. When we got all of that rain. Which was a mess. But so far, it's looking really good. A good warm up to the start of spring. Of course, spring officially started Saturday, I think it was the 21st. So
I did pay attention.
we still got a couple of weeks for our spring, but no, I mean, there's more dive talk coming out. A lot of people are ready to shed the winter cabin and get out and do stuff, and already getting calls and messages and stuff about diving in during the season. So it's off to a good start. And Krista got the alien painted yesterday. If you're following our Facebook page, we posted a photo of him. And give us some name hints. Drop a name in the comments on it, and in that way we're going to see what names are the most popular, and then we'll do a vote from there. So looks like Emily's in here too.
Yep. Yeah, good work on the alien. I seen that and I was like, well, geez, I seen that Saturday. It was just a statue, a gray statue. So
Oh
did a
yeah,
lot of work really quickly.
that it did. Um, but hey, Chad says Marvin.
Marvin the Martian.
Too much Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, I'll get my
uh,
little space gun to go with them.
Oh yeah. Well, I know there's something else that a lot of people are really looking forward
Yeah,
to.
we'll give them one of those little bubble guns. Put them in the water and hook them up to a little air tank and shoot
What was
bubble
that? The
guns.
aluminum 238 ray gun or something like that?
Yeah,
Hey, gotta have fun. Hey, he's already got his UFO that's in the water. I mean, you
yeah,
know, it,
we put them
so
right
it's
over there. You get that thing floating.
well, and we haven't seen it yet, but he's supposed to be covered with glow in the dark paint. So
Ooh.
So yeah, we haven't really you know gotten to see it in the dark yet. We got smart and left it on the patio there at the dive shop, and had one of our security cameras facing it. But we didn't realize that the nightlight was going to brighten it all up, so we can't see if he glows or not. Looks like Lisa's in here. She says hello from Panama, Florida. That is. Well, I must be down there doing some diving. I know there's several regulars that are down there, so awesome, awesome. Um,
Yeah, getting reports of 66-degree water with 30 feet of visibility, so it's starting to clear up for the spring.
yeah, yeah. Well, of course, down there in that area, this time of year is spring break, and I remember last time we went diving in Panama City during spring break. Didn't realize that it was spring break. And oh yeah, I swear I'd never go back to Panama City during spring break. I mean, you was with us, wasn't you?
I don't think so.
I thought you was with us when we went into Panama City or Panama City Beach to eat, and we were staying at Vortex or
No.
there.
Every time we've went, it's been in February. January, February.
No, we went in March one year. But anyway, long story short, we were down there in Panama City, and it was during spring break, and we didn't know it. We were diving at Vortex, and we went into PCB to eat dinner one night, not realizing that it was spring break. So Vortex was crazy with spring breakers. We were driving down, I guess, like the main strip where the beaches and stuff are, trying to make our way back out of town. And we actually had a drunk person hit the side of the car. I mean, we didn't hit him; he hit us. I mean, we're going slow, but yeah, he tried to walk right into the middle of the car. It's like, yeah, no, we're done. But anyway, so hope you guys are having an awesome time in PCB. Jordan asked, "Have you heard or seen any updates on the Hollis regs?" No. Have not heard anything else out of Hollis regarding the LX200 second stages. Of course, it's been about 3 or 4 weeks ago they put out that recall or do not use on the LX200 second stage regulators. And to my knowledge, I have not seen an email or any kind of post, any updates on that. Hopefully that they figure something out pretty quick because dive season's getting close, and there's a lot of people that use those regulators.
Yeah, I got two of them.
You got two of them. Yeah, I know Jordan's got two of them. Brandon's got two of them. A lot of people got two of them.
Uh, I'm planning on getting into some solo and extended range. I kind of need those regulators to work.
Yeah, they need to. Yeah, they do need to work. That's for sure. Lisa laughing out loud. You know, speaking of Florida, I don't know if you've seen it. I think it was last week, JoJo. You know, one of the most anticipated things of 2026 is the sinking of the SS United States. And I noticed, I think it was last week, I seen an article. It was originally or planned to be sunk in April. Awesome. But then last week, an article come out that it's been pushed back to the beginning of or it says early May is now it's tentatively scheduled. So, you know, that's going to be an awesome wreck dive. Um, yeah, it's going to be an awesome wreck dive. I've been on the Oriskany. It's 22 miles out. This is going to be 22 miles out. I don't know exactly where it's going to be positioned, but hopefully it's not as deep as the Oriskany.
Yeah, a little shallower would be nice. But hey, I'm up for scheduling a quick trip down there if you want to go.
So, you know, when they sunk the Oriskany in 2006, they sank it in May of 2006, and we had a trip that went down in August. So, you know, it's pretty cool being able to get down there, you know, 3 months after it had they'd sank it, and just seeing the growth that in just 3 months that had already taken over, and it was pretty cool. I haven't been back on it since, but I would love to see it, what it looks like, you know, now compared to then. I've even got pictures and video from way back then. But yeah,
I
it's
mean, I watch it all the time. They're always sinking something down there. I've seen a few more tugs go in and
yeah. Well, they just
stuff like that.
you know they just sunk the Black Pearl a month or so ago. The prop ship used for the CGI in Pirates of the Caribbean was sank off of, I believe it was it Panama or Destin.
Somewhere in there, either Panama, Destin, or Pensacola. So
Yeah, it's somewhere in the Panhandle, but you know I've seen pictures of it. And of course, you know I've seen the movies, and you think the Black Pearl, you don't think this prop ship because it doesn't look anything like it. Uh, but you have to understand how the creators, used computer graphics and made it look like that in the movie. This is the base model that they used to shoot with, and so yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know if we'll see Captain Jack down there, but maybe Davy Jones.
Yeah, yeah, Jordan. I'd be more than happy to put a trip together and uh, go take a nice dive on it.
Well,
So we'll keep an eye on it, I think, and put
you
one
know,
together.
Florida is a great option in the wintertime, the fall, the late fall, winter, early spring. I mean, yeah, it gets cool down there too. You're looking at what, 60, 65-degree water. In the ocean, the springs are usually about 67, 68 degrees. So, I mean, it's a good option with a 5 mil. I don't use hood and gloves when I go like to Vortex, Morrison, uh, Blue
I
Grotto.
don't either.
Yeah, I use my like 5 mil, or I'll just use a dry suit with no insulation, and I'm perfectly fine.
Especially if that sun's shining, it makes it really nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. As long as it's not like it was last time I was at Blue Grotto. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
cold.
oh my goodness.
That was cold.
That was yeah. The water was great. The air temperature was 45 degrees. So, you're trying to hurry up and get back in the water just to warm up.
Unfortunately, Florida does have their little cold spells and get below freezing every now and then.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jordan says, "Yeah, Hollis is becoming a joke. I sent a personal email to them and never got a response." Yeah, and I'm not gonna bash a manufacturer. Um, you know, all manufacturers experience problems with various parts of manufacturing. However, in my personal opinion, Hollis is making several mishaps, especially with this. I mean, when they identified the problem, I can understand a week, maybe 2 weeks to try to get something rolling to get it out, but when you look at the sheer number of how many of these units did they sell throughout the world, you got to be on top of it. You're the one issuing the safety recall. You need to be on it, and you need to talk to people.
I'll let somebody know what's going on. I mean, heck, I got two paperweights now. I spent a lot of money on.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but there's a major scuba manufacturer like that really needs to have like a maybe a weekly update. Hey, we're in the process. We're testing, wherever they're at in that step of creating the fix. Let the dive community know, because this affects hundreds, if not thousands, of divers, because they've got so many units out on the market.
Hmm.
Yeah, Emily says at least some sort of update should be standard, and I'll agree. I mean, most of the times when there is a recall or something in the scuba industry, it's usually quickly followed up by, you know, take the affected item to your local dealer, authorized dealer, and usually they've done sent stuff to the dealers about how to fix it. This is the way we need to fix it. If you have one come in, send us the defective part. We send you new parts. Some way, shape, form, or fashion. But like Jordan said, Emily even looked it up on their website. It's crickets. And that's not a good look. Especially for a brand that used to be a real reputable brand. They're kind of dropping the ball on this one.
Yeah, for supposed to be so highly regarded for their tech stuff.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, in this instance here, that's a popular That's a popular side mounting regulator. I mean, a lot of people have them. You know, it's a popular regulator, and you would think that there would be something by now, because I mean, we're entering what, week 4, week 5, of this, don't use. They went short of calling it a recall. They stopped short of that, but they issued that stop use. So, I don't know. Lisa says it was 64 today. Well,
6 foot water temp.
yeah, I mean, it was
Probably both.
I was say it's 55 here, air temperature. So 64 sounds more like an air temperature. I figured the water would be a little bit warmer down there now than 64. Maybe not.
Seems like it gets down to low 60s there in the winter.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, Florida's an easy, especially the Panhandle, an easy, 7.5, 8 hour drive. A good weekend trip. Go down, spend the weekend diving, drive back. Especially if you can drive Friday and then drive Monday back, gives you 2 good days of diving and rest before you come back. I tell you,
Yeah,
huh?
I've been wanting to get down there and do the snorkeling reefs. They're pretty much shore dives. You
Yeah.
can dive them or you can snorkel them.
Well, I'll tell you,
I think that's pretty cool.
one of the best trips that we done to Florida was the Oriskany trip. When we went in with another shop, we rented a one of these, yeah, big buses, like a tour bus, and the company was really good about it. They took out, I don't know, like 8 or 9 rows of seats. In the back of the bus, they put a table up and turned a row of seats around, so you actually had like 4 people that could sit at a table. We was able to put coolers and all that stuff, so we had snacks going down, coming back. But there were 17 of us on that bus, so I mean we had tons of room. It was a great trip. We done the Oriskany on Saturday. We drove. We left out Friday morning, and drove all the way to Pensacola. We stayed in Pensacola Saturday or Friday night. Dove Saturday on the Oriskany all day. Stayed in Pensacola on Saturday night, and then drove from Pensacola to Vortex and dove Vortex. Done a couple dives there Sunday, and then drove back. And we were back by between 10 and 11 o'clock Sunday night. So, it was a really good trip. Didn't have to worry about driving. I mean, it was a great trip, had plenty of room. So that was probably one of the better, Florida trips because I didn't have to drive.
We're saying as many charter buses.
Yeah. Well, and it really wasn't, I mean, it wasn't super expensive either. Of course, this was, 20 years ago. I think the cost, if I remember correctly, per person was like $600. That was transportation. That was hotel stay for 2 nights. That was the Oriskany, and that was entry into Vortex. So it didn't include airfields. It didn't include meals. But I mean, all your major expenses, for 4 days going down there, $650 a person, for everything you got. That was an awesome deal.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, yeah. Now I
As
don't know
far as
what.
spending gas and stuff like that, the wear and tear in your vehicle. Yeah,
Oh
and you
yeah,
don't have to worry about driving.
yeah, and all your gear stored underneath. I mean, the only thing, and I didn't realize this until we done it, was we had to empty the cylinders for transport. They would not
Oh,
transport the cylinders full. So we drained them down to about, 100, 200 psi. That way they weren't completely empty. And they were fine with that. They just did not want to transport them when they were full. So, I mean, I get it. Sometimes, the rules are different on commercial vehicles like that than they are, our vehicles that we drive to and from dive sites. So, but yeah, I mean, of course, the dive shop down there that was taking us to the Oriskany loved us because, we had like 30 something cylinders, that went with us. And yeah, so
hopefully you dropped them off the night before, not the morning you showed up for the boat.
yeah. We actually when we got to Pensacola, we actually went to the dive shop first and dropped the cylinders off, and then the bus took us over to the hotel, and then we stayed there. And that next morning, when we came back, they had all of our tanks full, and we put them on the boat. We went out, went diving. So yeah, I mean there were a handful of people who only had one cylinder. They ended up renting a second cylinder down there so they could do the two tank dive. But yeah, it wasn't terrible. But whenever you're talking a commercial vehicle like a charter bus, um, the good thing about a charter was that they kind of gave us free reign on the charter since we were paying for the bus. Um, but we still had to adhere to their rules regarding hazardous materials because that's exactly what a full scuba cylinder is. It's considered hazardous material because it's under pressure. So and technically, even 100 or 200 psi is still technically considered hazardous material. The DOT, I think it's anything over 29 pounds or 29 psi is considered hazardous material. So, yeah, just have to play by the rules. But we did, and it was a great trip. So, hopefully, Lisa and them are having an awesome time down there in PCB. I enjoy going down there. Don't get down there as much. Uh, I don't know about you, Joe, but I don't vacation in Panama City because it's near the ocean, and I would always want to be in the ocean diving. So
Yeah,
you know, it makes
it's
it it's a double edged sword when you work in the scuba industry and you want to take a vacation and go diving. I mean, it's a give and take.
no, I need to take the family down there. Well, I want to get one of the campsites right there at the state park and camp at the state park.
Yeah.
Dive right there at the jetties, get a boat, do some night, you know, wreck dives. Then in the afternoon, do some stuff with the family. So
Oh yeah.
it's kind of what was going through my head on that one.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a lot of good things going on down there, as far as the stuff they're sinking, and again, it's from here. It's about an 8 hour drive, so I mean, it's not terrible. Um, you know, Hop in the car, spend a day driving down, get there that afternoon. You got time to relax, get your gear and stuff ready, and then get some good sleep. That way, you're ready to go for the first day of diving, second day of diving, however long you're going to plan on doing it. Uh, and a lot of people are traveling for spring break is coming up. Some people are having it. I think the end of this week. I know there's some spring breaks that's going to be next week. I think ours is in a couple of weeks. So, a lot of people traveling, and the ones I feel sorry for are the ones that's traveling out of country or having to fly because them TSA lines are getting ridiculous. I was just reading a thing when before we come on, uh, which we just flew through Atlanta, coming back or going to and coming back from Bonaire a couple of weeks ago. Luckily, we didn't have any issues because we were in the international terminal. But just reading what I read today, Atlanta is now telling people to, if you're flying out of Atlanta, be there 4 hours before your flight.
That's a lot of time standing at TSA.
It
A
is. It
lot of
is, and
time.
it's ridiculous. I mean, it should not be that way. Unfortunately, that's the hand we're dealt right now, especially in the travel industry. Um, I don't think it's as bad getting out of the country as it is going to be coming back in. But that's one reason why I elected to fly out of Evansville, which is about an hour closer. It's a small airport. It's just a little regional airport, but they still have TSA. You don't have the long lines. I mean, 6 o'clock flight in the morning. I think there was maybe 30 people that went through TSA. So it didn't take us long. I mean, literally, we got through and was able to take off. But coming back into the country, especially a hub like Atlanta, Miami, Houston, Dallas, you know, those people could definitely be in for missed flights, missed connections, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it was Miami we had the issues with. Literally waiting in line for hours to get through TSA. I
Oh yeah,
think it was when we went to Fort Myers, we went to the Keys for COVID.
yeah.
That was
Well,
a long wait to get to the airport.
especially on international travel, that and this is just my personal experience. Sometimes you've got a decent lengthy layover, 3 4 5 hours. Sometimes you don't have that layover, you've only got a couple of hours. So when you're flying back into the country, um, it's just if you've got to wait and you don't have that long of a connection, layover, I mean, that's going to cause a lot of people to be not so happy campers in the airport.
Yeah, I mean, heck, even international, our little 1 hours between flights when we're already in the airport can get in sometimes.
Yeah. No.
Airplanes delayed 5 or 10 minutes. It really puts a crunch onto it too.
Yeah, Emily just posted on here. Yeah, I read Atlanta simply stopped posting wait times. I mean, you know, with the travel delays, the way that the flights and stuff are going, I mean, people's going to be driving, going to Florida, staying local, things like that. And I hate to say it, but that's going to the scuba industry is not very big. A lot of people don't realize how small it actually is. And you take flight disruptions like that for people who are flying in or out of the country, going on dive trips. I mean, that's going to kill the dive travel.
I've gotten flagged at TSA for carrying my dive gear on a plane.
Yeah.
They want to look and see what it is, and all I see is a bunch of hoses in a bag. And
Oh
they're like,
yeah.
"What's this?" I'm like, that's
Well,
dive gear.
I
Oh,
mean,
okay. Where you going?
when we were coming through Atlanta last weekend, when we flew back in, of course, had to go through customs and TSA, and I had my DPV, my little Lafitte scooter batteries. I had them
Mm-hmm.
in my carry-on because you can't check them. So I had them, stuffed in my backpack. Basically all of my batteries and stuff was in my laptop bag, and then everything else I just checked. And of course, it was really helpful when you're nice when you go into TSA. This little girl, she was nice as she could be. I first of all I thanked her for working and not getting paid. Thank you for being here. Your dedication, and she was really gracious about it. And when my bag went through the X-ray, they flagged it, and of course she come over and she was really nice, and she asked all the questions, anything in here that's going to stick or poke me, yada yada yada. And I told her no. I said, you're probably seeing my batteries for my diving propulsion vehicle. I'm a scuba diver, and my batteries are in the bag. So when she looked through, yeah, everything was in order. It was real quick and easy. And like I said, she was really nice. I get it. A lot of people aren't quite as pleasant to, when they're having to wait. But, give them a little extra time because, I mean, they're doing a job. I wouldn't do it. I can honestly say I wouldn't do it, and especially not getting paid to put up with some of the attitudes that come through like that. There's no way. But if you're pleasant with them and you don't give them a hard time, it makes life so much easier. You'll get through and with minimal disruption. It's just the wait times. So luckily, I don't have to fly anywhere until the fall. Maybe everything will be back to normal by then. I don't know, but really looking forward to that. But we've got a whole season of diving coming up. I can't wait to get back on the Avelo. I love that system, and I can't wait to get back in the water with it. Still waiting on my dry suit. I don't know. I think they had
You
to.
got an update on that?
I have
Yeah,
not.
aren't you supposed to have it by now?
Well, it's funny. Emily and I put our dry suit order, or actually, I put mine in a day before Emily's. And she's already got hers. She's already tested it out. Mine still says in production. So I don't know if, when they were making mine, they were able to throw her suit together out of the extras. I don't know. But, uh, yeah, let's see. She says, not pleasant when they take my wrench. I get the Allen keys, but the wrench. That's just because they needed it. And actually, that wasn't in TSA, Emily. If you remember, that was in Roatan. So they don't have a lot of stuff down there. So they take what they
Yeah,
need.
they need something to fix the plane. You just gave it to them.
Well, and in reference to what she's talking about, and again, that happened in Roatan. So, when we were getting ready to fly back in October, from our annual trip, we got canceled. So we literally went into the airport, had to go through customs, their security, all that, set in the airport. Some people who were flying like on Delta and American, they got to fly out. If you was on United, we sat there. But, so I went through, that first day, no problems, got in, got canceled, had to leave, go back through customs. That's the first time I have went to depart Roatan and arrive on Roatan in the same day. My passport proves it. Because we had to go back through customs to, re-enter and so I had some bug spray, like the little, I don't know, like ounce and a half, 2 ounce bottle of bug spray, and had no problems on day one when we went through. Well, they canceled us, so we, stayed overnight, had to come back to the airport, went through security. They decided to take it the second day. So, there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes I think they just, they need it because the mosquitoes down there were so big they'd carry you off. I don't know. But, it's they're,
I don't know if it's the mosquitoes or the no seams that get you bad.
yeah, well, at least, I'll say at least TSA is consistent here in the U.S. If it's an item that's not supposed to be on carry on, it is what it is. But when you get in some of these countries, it's a crapshoot, if they're going to allow it or not. Like my bug spray, it made it through no problem. The guy searched my bag, that first day, left everything in place. Here you go. I was fine. The second day when I had to come back in, it was a different person, and the lady ended up, oh, you can't fly with this. What was the difference between yesterday and today? So sometimes I think they just see stuff that they want. Oh, you can't fly with this. If they can make a case, they're gonna take it, and there's nothing we can do about it. Luckily, scuba gear is not on that list. Emily says, at least I got to use the Allen key before they took them in security. help a diver out front of me check out who was getting flack for something in his regulator. So yeah, it's always best any kind of tools or anything like that. Throw it in your check bag. I mean, if it's over 3 ounces, throw it in your check bag. Um, you've got better chances of keeping it versus, uh, you know, it going through security. And I mean, I've even seen in TSA, they'll tell you, you can't take this. You can check it, but then you've got the hassle of going all the way back trying to get to your bag to put it in your bag and all that. Sometimes it's just not worth it, but you know, I'm not going to go in,
Uh,
I'm not going to get into my TSA horror stories.
I throw it away with sunscreen because we had the spray bottles and not the lotion. And well, you can't take pressurized things on an airplane.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and like that bug spray, it was a pump, so it wasn't pressurized. I mean, you literally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just little travel tips and tricks you learn along the way, and you know, I don't ever pack anything that I know's not going to make it through the security checkpoint. If I do, it's going in the check bag. That way I don't have to worry about it. Because I've noticed that they don't, like used to, and I don't know if you remember this, Joe, but used to, even my dive bag. I mean, I would get home or I would get to the resort, open it up, and there was a piece of paper where they had been through the bag. And the last several years that I've been flying, going to Roatan or going on these trips, I've not seen one of those papers in a while. So I don't know if they're, if they're even doing that anymore. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I haven't got one. Probably good X-rays. I don't have to if they got an X-ray.
Yeah, well, the technology and stuff, uh, of course, you know, places that diving is prominent, most of the people are familiar with what it looks like on an x-ray, most of those security screeners. So I can see where, oh, that's a regulator set. Oh, that's a dive bag. There's a regulator, BC, yada, 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 yada. But some of these places like Evansville, Indiana, how often do they see dive gear? I mean, even in Louisville, Nashville, there's not a lot of them that see that on a consistent basis. So, they may not know what it is and take a look at it.
Nope. All I see is hoses and round containers.
Yeah, and they don't know what's in it.
And like, yeah.
So, but yeah, it's it's a whole lot easier just throwing your dive gear in the vehicle and trekking off to Florida for a weekend or, in the summertime, coming to the quarry, your local diving destinations. It's good to be able to do dive travel and go like to the Caribbean, to the Pacific, the different places. But with the travel woes, that's going to make it hard this dive season. People who have trips already planned, unless something changes, so
Hopefully, it can get better soon.
I hope
We all
so.
like to travel. Our TSA guys and gals, they need to get paid. I mean, that's rough. 2 months without a paycheck. I don't have the fundage to keep myself afloat for 2 months. So,
Yeah,
uh,
like I said, the ones that are working, they're working and they're doing the best they can. They can't help it. Their coworkers call out just because they're not getting paid. Like I said, it's a job I wouldn't do. So I have the utmost respect for those who are dedicated and staying with it, even though they're not getting paid. They're showing up, they're doing what they can, even if their coworkers aren't or are quitting. I mean, I get it. I get the ones who call in. I get the ones who are quitting because of this. I mean, life goes on. Bills keep coming in. So, you got to have something. So, I mean, I get it. I understand it, but
you have to
it's
call in so you can go DoorDash to keep some of the bills paid
oh yeah.
down.
Let's see. Frank said I had one of those papers in my bag my scooter was in every time. So yeah, I mean, I guess they're still doing it. I mean, I've never had one, so or I haven't had one in a long time. But of course,
I
my
don't think I've
scooter.
ever had one flying. I've had one getting on a cruise ship.
Oh goodness, but yeah. So like I said, to all of our friends who have trips scheduled and going out, I'm hoping and praying for the best that all this will get resolved. Maybe normal flight travel will resume, and you know we can keep the industry going, the dive travel part of the industry going. But unless something changes, I mean, people's going to be, you know, they're not going to be able to make connection flights, and insurance companies aren't going to like that.
No, they're not going to like that,
I
especially
mean,
when they cash them all in. Oof.
I mean, I'm in the middle of filing a claim for our canceled flight from Evansville to Bonaire on Saturday. So yeah, the insurance companies aren't going to like all these claims. Luckily,
Well,
mine
there has to
wasn't.
be a lot too.
Huh?
So there has to be a lot too.
Oh, I'm
TSA is
sure.
down.
Well, like if you're traveling out of the country, and like I said, most of mine, I have a pretty decent layover coming back. When we come back from Roatan, I had a 6 hour layover in Houston. So, getting through TSA, that gives you time. If you're coming back into the country, you've got to hit customs and go back through security. You've got a 2 hour layover. You're not gonna make you're not gonna make a connection if the TSA lines are, 2 or 3 hours long. You're having to wait to get through TSA.
Yeah, you better have some special paperwork. Pay for that TSA pass to get your butt through faster.
Well, that's I mean they're not even doing all that now because of everything, no funding. They're not running all the like the TSA. They still have it, but they're not running it like a TSA pre-check line. I mean, I was in the same. I've got pre-check, and I was in the same line as everybody else. Even though I had pre-check, but Atlanta, I do have to say this about Atlanta. Flying through Atlanta on international flights, like coming back in, you fly into the international concourse, and they have customs there and they have TSA there. So they're only dealing with the international people coming in. It's not like you're showing up at Atlanta to, you know, to take off from Atlanta and having to go through the main TSA checkpoint. They actually,
Wasn't that Miami where we had to get off the plane and go back to the front door to go through TSA?
oh yeah, yeah. Miami is horrible for especially dive travel. I swore off Miami years ago. That's the reason I flew through Atlanta instead of going to Miami. Yeah, I could have got a cheaper flight. I could have went American and went through Miami, but I don't like Miami Airport. So you know, when I go to Bonaire or places like that it's just not feasible for United or whatnot, then, I'm going to choose whatever company is not flying into Miami. Delta was the winner this time. So, but yeah, it's like I said, dive travel is a big part of the scuba industry. For folks like us who are in the middle of Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Tennessee, and we want to go to the Caribbean. I mean, really, we're flying. I mean, that's the only way to get there to, like Belize, Bonaire, the Caymans. We got to fly. And when you're dealing with, these kind of wait times, it can make it tricky.
We'll
It,
start driving through Mexico and get on a boat.
yeah. We'll just drive straight through Mexico into Central America. We'll take a ferry over to Roatan. Hey, it can be done. I'm not saying that I want to do it that way, but it could be
We'll
done.
have to plan a whole month just to run a road trip.
Well, and you say that it's funny. I've got a friend who's an instructor trainer on Utila, and I noticed that he just done him and somebody else rode their motorcycles from Utila back up here. So
Huh.
they took the ferry to the mainland and they traversed Central America up through Mexico, come into the US and headed back, they drove, rode their motorcycles back. I mean, it can be done, but man, that
I
is
wonder
a
how many
road.
cartel checkpoints they had to pay off.
I don't know, but man, that is a road trip right there. I couldn't imagine doing it with dive gear. I just, he didn't have dive gear, but just doing it, a road trip like that. I mean, I guess it would be an adventure. Hey, we're going diving in Roatan this weekend. You want to go with us? It's going to take us 2 days or 3 days to get there. No, I can hop on a plane and be there in like 7. Oh goodness. But but yeah, I am super excited. The dive season is slowly approaching. Jojo, how close are we? Have you looked?
2 weeks,
Let's
18
see.
days, something like that.
So I see questions pop up on our Facebook Messenger and stuff. People asking when the season opens or if we're open now. The official count is on our website, pennyroyalscuba.com. We have a countdown. The 26 diving season starts in 18 days, 13 hours, and 10 minutes. So we're down to less than 20 days before the park opens for the season. And I think we're about ready. We're getting there.
Hey, tanks are done.
Oh, what?
The tanks are done.
Yeah. Tanks are done. They're full.
They've been
Even,
dizzed and they are full and ready to go diving.
oh, yeah. The compressors got their workout and maintenance done, and they're ready to rock and roll. The nitrox system is up and rock and rolling. So, yeah, a lot of good things going on. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be a good season for diving. Hopefully, this warming trend will keep, and we'll have a warmer spring than normal. But yeah, we'll just have to keep hoping for 70, 80-degree days. And
Hey, we already had a couple 70-degree days. I think we hit 80 a couple of them too. So
yeah, well, I mean, it goes to show 3 weeks ago at the park, the surface or the 10-foot temperature was like 47 degrees. We're at 54 right now. So, it is warming up. I mean, I'm going to say in the next, probably by opening season, we're going to be pushing probably 58, 59 degrees. So it may be 60 on the surface.
get to that nice Florida spring water temperatures.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know I had received, I'm going to see if I can find it here real quick. We've got the metrics for the query from the temperature sensor system for the last couple of years. And I don't know. Let's see, I want to try to. From May of 24 to February of 26, and I don't know if you can see it very well there, but that's 2 seasons worth of information. Of course, the peak seasons here and here. My phone went black.
Hey, I'd tell you the water cooled off a lot faster this year than it did last year. It
Yeah,
was
oh
like
yeah.
showing that on the graph.
Well, I mean, if you look, let's see, is that, yeah. So that one right there, and I apologize, it's blurry. You can see that well defined drop right there where it peaks right here, where it peaks and then it just drops. Versus the year before, we didn't have that drop. So it's pretty cool being able to see, keep up with these metrics on the temperatures. Um, like last year, it looks May of 25, is when, or yeah, the first part of May of 25 is when it started warming up. And, we hit 60. Uh, this was at the 20 foot. We hit 60 degrees at 20 foot the last part of May. So hopefully, if the weather keeps trending in the right direction, the 20-foot section is 50 degrees now. So hopefully we'll be pushing, 58, 59 by this time in April, which will put us a month ahead on water temperatures. So yeah, I mean, a lot of great metrics. With this system in place, we're able to see it and kind of gauge year to year.
Data to have. Know how the weather trends each year. It's good.
Oh yeah. Well, that's one of the benefits of the system is, you can get on the website and literally see what the temperature is at that time. Like it just updated like 5 minutes ago. So on the website right now, it's showing, the temperatures as of 5 minutes ago. So it's real time. I think it updates every 10 minutes. So at 10-minute increments, it'll update. So as it starts warming, it's going to keep up with it. And, that's a handy tool to have, especially seeing how the water's warming or cooling and all that. But you're right. Last year, I mean, there was a sharp drop in temperatures. You
Yeah.
know, it was a
It's like
sharp.
I was getting right into Halloween season. I was like, ooh, this water's a little chilly this time of year.
Well, it's October. I mean, let's
Well,
see.
the year before that, I was like, I didn't even need my wetsuit. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
cold in my wetsuit this year. or last.
yeah, it dropped. The water temperature peaked in literally the end of August is when it peaked. And, it was below, it peaked at like 80, 84, 85 degrees is what it peaked at. And when it dropped down to about 77 degrees. And it kind of stayed there until, um, the last part of October. So yeah, it slowly dropped from that point. But good
I
tool to
put the
have.
webcam down there uh with the Viz gauge.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out how to get that done.
Yeah,
Right there at the
yardstick,
dock.
measured out with the numbers on it in
A
big letters.
yardstick. Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
going to be able to see 3 foot. How far out past 3 foot can you
We
see?
might have to duct tape a couple of them together.
Duct tape. Oh goodness. Duct tape
And we
fixes
put a little
everything.
tiny fish feeder down there, so maybe
Yeah.
twice a day. Fish.
All right, JoJo. It's 8:56. You got any final thoughts for us for this fine Monday evening?
Again, I'm back. It's a freaking Monday. I'm just ready for the season to get started. Tank Day was always a big one. That's kind of a kickoff to our season. Now we're starting to work at the shop. Going. Water looked good up top. My understanding, the Viz wasn't great, but it looked good from up top anyway.
Yeah,
The
I had
sun was
heard
out.
heard about 10 foot, 10 to 12 foot.
The sun was out. It was nice and warm. Enjoying that right now. Being only end of March and having 83 days, I'll take it. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to the diving season.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure everybody else is just itching to get in the water. I know Lisa and them are down doing it now down in Panama City Beach, and so you know if you're too out of the water too long, your gills start drying out, and your nitrogen levels drop, and it doesn't make for a happy person. Nothing like your nitrogen levels being low.
Yeah, no, I'm well into planning my season out and in the next season, and have a lot of fun stuff going on.
Yep.
We got some good trips. I'm leading the Belize trip. sign up for that one. Uh, it's going to be fun. It was a great time last time. It's going to be another great one this time. We got Roatan coming up, Georgia Aquarium. So, yeah.
Lots of good opportunities to dive, and definitely want to make sure if you haven't got your equipment into your local dive shop, go ahead and get that done. As the season approaches, people are having the same ideas of, oh, I need to get my equipment serviced. So if you don't get it in and before everybody else, you're going to be waiting. So, if you need to have your annual service done, go ahead and get it in. Contact your local shop, see what they've got going on, take it in. It's a great opportunity to be able to see what kind of trips are going, what kind of classes they're going to be offering, things like that. So, get into your local dive shop, see what's going on, get your gear serviced, get ready for the 2026 season. You never know. There may be a class coming up that you've really wanted for a long time. If you don't get in, take your gear, get it ready, you're not going to know about the class. So, or a trip. That bucket list trip always popping up. So, don't miss the bucket list trip just because you forget to take your gear in and get it serviced. Because a lot of trips fill up fast. I mean, just going to say. So, all right. Well, it is 8:59. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us each and every Monday that we're on here. And, it's like Joe said earlier, this is kind of the highlight of Mondays for us. Getting on here and talking all things scuba here with you guys, interacting with you, answering questions and stuff like that. Absolutely love sitting here doing that with you guys here on Monday evenings. Don't forget, and I'm going to put this out early. Once we get up to Memorial Day, we will take our summer hiatus. And we'll start the new season of Monday Night Safety Stop after Labor Day. So usually it's the Monday after Labor Day. So just gonna throw that out there real quickly because time is counting down. We've got about, I hate to say it, but we've got about 10 episodes left roughly before summer break. So 10-ish.
Bring those topics. Let's talk. We got 10 more to make them count. So,
10, yeah. Next week will be the 10-week countdown. So, 10 more episodes left in our winter series of Monday Night Safety Stop. So, anyway, again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't had a chance, you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit it. Helps us grow the channel. Let you know when we come on. That way, if you forget, like I do, it'll ding your email and let you know, hey, they're on. So, anyway, if you're diving this weekend, we hope you have a fun, safe, and adventurous diving experience. And we can't wait to see you in the 2026 season, starting in less than 20 days. We'll see you guys next Monday night right here on our YouTube channel. Opening day, April the 11th.
yes.
It's coming fast. Get the gear in. We'll catch you guys later. Maybe. Hey, Joe, it's not working. It's a Monday.
They said the show must go on.
It must go on. Yeah, it's a Monday. It's not wanting to. Technology's great when it works. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys next Monday night right here on our YouTube channel.